everyone. This is our favorite league, and we're here on to sixth season, round two of Cockpit View Racing, and we are here in China. So, few things about China. It's 5.4 kilometers length, and the number of laps today will be a 50%. I need to pull out my calculator. I can divide by two actually. I don't want to make any mistakes, so let me get the calculator. 56 is the real length of the race, but today will be 28. I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry for that. The fastest lap time was set by Michael Schumacher, but that's not about it. I think we should look at the standings for now. These are the Drivers' Championship standings. First is Chris Racing. I know he's a good driver, so I really believe he can do something here. Next is Kersey, and then Andrew. Andrew is, I believe, our youngest driver, and well, he's doing absolutely great, as you can see. May we please look at the team standings, please? Here are the Constructors' Championship, and there's a little mistake here, because actually, Alpine is leading. So, first we have an Alpine, then Kicksauber, and then McLaren. Can we see the teams, actually? That would be very good. So here, we have a Red Bull, Mercedes, which is only one driver, Woolworth, McLaren, Alpine, Kicksauber, Haas, Williams, Aston Martin, Ferrari, and Visa Racing. And we're off to the game. You're loading in. And I'm not alone, actually, because here with me is my new friend, Saiji. Hello, Saiji.
Hello there. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good, thank you so much. We're on to the qualifying session. Everyone's in the pits as the qualifying started. So, what would you expect here? It's your first time commentating.
First time commentating, that's correct. It should be an exciting qualifying. It's always a bit of uncertainty at the beginning of the season. The driver performances are not really clear. You don't really know who's the outright fastest, who has done the most practice. It can be anybody. It can be from a Red Bull to the McLaren to the Williams to the Alpine. We just don't know. We're on for a couple of surprises. Obviously, I believe this is a league where only cockpit view is allowed, which is something I believe Formula 1 esports should do as well, which is an added challenge for all of the drivers. Bit of lack of awareness, so you gotta be careful with your mirrors and obviously the look down button. No radar in F125. And no assist as well. So definitely an exciting qualifying, as I believe I've heard there might be some little bit of splashing rain at the end of it.
Oh, there's actually rain currently on track, so that will be kind of exciting qualifying session, don't you think?
Yes, it should be. As we see, Andrew, I believe the first one on track, really having to warm up his tires as the Aston Martin of Mr. Crico already discovering that water and slick tires do not really work together that well.
Yeah, I think he really misjudged what he wanted to do. Well, they have no assist, so this is actually very hard to control the car in the rain.
There we go, the DRS has already been disabled as Andrew starts his lap now into turn 1, straight away going into turn 2, a little bit of traffic. The grip is very narrow, there's a very, very narrow window on the grip exiting of turn 4 as we can see a little bit of slides having to fight the car, obviously the dirty air and the traffic ahead as he gets really close to the house that is having a bit of lag issues behind. Again, missing the apex a lot, absolutely no grip on the outside. I think some of the drivers will already be pitting into the intermediate tire.
Well, as we know, we started the race. I think it was only cloudy, the rain. But as the rain started, of course, you have a little bit of time to settle up on slick tires. That is true, because the track didn't get as wet as it is now. And we can see that the drivers start to get off the track. Well, I think Andrew should really go for intermediates. And I think we have few drivers now that choose these tires. There's Erico, Certain Penna, Diego Sim driver, and no assists. So I think that's a great idea. I think everyone should pit now since you have 8 minutes of gap till the end of the qualifying session. That is really your time to do it.
Yeah, I think it was a bad idea to go out on the soft. Obviously, the track will be most grippy at the beginning of the rain, so people who just went out now on the intermediate tire should have a massive advantage depending on how much it will continue raining. But as we saw Andrew on those slick soft tires, he had absolutely no grip in that middle sector. As we see now the Ferrari doing the right choice, going straight out onto the intermediates, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better than the soft tires.
Of course, it should look a lot better actually. And we see now the other drivers also, as I think they hear us a bit, because everyone went for an intermediate. Everyone who was on the soft tires and went out knew that there was something wrong with the track. But no Sebo, he went out on the soft tire compound. So let's see what he actually does. Certain Penna for now,
Captain
finishing the
Tinless
lap. And
does
Captain
a
Tinless, the best lap with 2 minutes point 15 seconds. So that's not the best lap, but that's something.
that does not look like a competitive lap. We should definitely see a lot quicker laps as certain Penna. Now the first driver that comes across the line on the intermediate, but he goes wide and that should be... Actually, never mind. That is not an invalidated lap time. That is a 1:49.3. As we have got Williams behind, I believe he has just started a new lap.
There is the Williams of Diego Sim driver, who was the first driver to do an outlap on intermediate tires. So he didn't go on the soft tire compound, which is very smart of him, of his moves, because as we can see, there is literally no point in going into slicks, as Captain Phineas actually showed us that this is not a lap time. This is a catastrophic disaster. We have a few times going, but no one has managed to go down as Certain Penna is still on the pole position.
He certain is. That will be a bit controversial though, as he went off track. I'm pretty sure some drivers will want to report that to the stewards. As we see, even on the intermediate tire, as the rain is pouring down more and more, there's just no grip out there. No assist, and our iRocky are actually really far away from certain Penna.
I
As
think the best time, I'm so sorry for cutting you off, the best time for doing your laps was the beginning of the qualifying session, because now as the rain goes on, there will be no grip at all at the end.
so certainly Penna is in a very comfortable position right now, but we still have an interesting battle for P4. As actually most of the grid, almost no driver has done any lap time.
I think the drivers are not comfortable with the rain actually, because well, no assist as we said. It's really hard, and we have a new fastest lap actually. Diego Sim driver 1:49.2 for Williams Racing. This is our first best time. It's very close to certain Penas, so something might happen at the end of qualifying, but we don't know yet. We have few drivers who need few. I mean, almost all the drivers who need to set their laps, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because we can see the rain is pouring.
And it's certainly pouring more and more as the time goes. We have a couple of drivers that are going across the the start-finish straight. Both of the Haas's in P3 and P4 does not a bad lap time. Let's see what the Ferrari and the McLaren can do. I believe, yep, they're just starting the lap right now. As there is a yellow flag, somebody on the grass, and there is a Haas driver that keeps lagging out, as I can see, moving around left and right. Another yellow flag from the McLaren, as looks like he's cutting the road. So
Think
certainly not
different,
a lot of
Saiji. You
think
need to think
different, yeah,
different, yeah.
think different, and oh,
Ooh!
talking about thinking differently, the RP decides to take out the brake marks. So
Maybe it's a strategy.
interesting
Because if you
strategy.
take that out, the other drivers won't know their braking points.
That
See,
is
big brain.
definitely an interesting strategy indeed.
3 minutes left into qualifying session. Hernanos, I hope I read that right, is having the best time 1:37.1 for Kick Sauber. We wouldn't see that in real life, but here everything is possible as Kick Sauber takes the P1 for now. There's caution, yellow flag in sector 2 caused by Haas, I believe, but that is figuring out by itself. Going out with Andrew, I think one of the best drivers as he goes on P2, so that is something that I know. Andrew, I've talked about him a lot because he's, I think, 16, 17. And he's a really, really good driver and the youngest of the league, so very, very good.
As we
Very
see a
promising.
couple more drivers going across the grid, especially the two McLarens, but I think they've invalidated the lap time as his teammate PFM21 goes third. It is still very tricky out there, a couple yellow flags. The track is absolutely filled with people, some of them going into the pit lane. I think that's the end of qualifying for them. There is no time to go back on track, so if you're going now into the pit lane, that's your qualifying over. As we have a couple more drivers needing to cross the line. The Red Bull of Mixu, no lap time on the board right now. Let's see what he can do. Crosses the line, only P15. A couple more changes. The Alpine of Ronnie going into 7th. The other Alpine on track is currently P13. The Haas driver, unfortunately, has invalidated his lap time, will go into the pit lane. As the Mercedes of Dance 99 across the line, I believe he's just now starting his final lap.
For sure, 1 minute 13 seconds is not enough to go out on track. And my voice is dying. I'm so sorry for that. But now we have 5 drivers in the pit, and we know they're not going to come out. It's Andrew's last chance to get P1, as well as PFM21. There are 2 drivers that hadn't done the lap yet, so I think if they don't do it now, they're gonna start from the end of the grid. And starting in pouring rain last, that is a good idea. That is a very bad idea. So that's something we're gonna look up to.
As we see the championship leader currently in P18, he goes 4th position. That's better than P18, but that's not really optimal. The Kick Saubers are still just 1 and 2. Andrew right now on track. Never mind, he's gone into the pit lane. A couple more drivers to cross the line and start the final laps in this qualifying session. It's certainly a really interesting and really randomized grid. A lot of drivers doing mistakes, a lot of lap times that are not definitely not up to speed for some drivers.
And that is your qualifying session over. We have Hernanos in the pole position, Andrew on P2. Forrest Jump, who is finishing his lap, is on P3, PFM21 on 4th, and Chris racing on 5th. This is a bad position for him as he's taking the lead in the Drivers' Championship. So, Chris, pick up your tempo. You really need to pick up your tempo. Next, Certain Penna. Next, Peter Cam, Diego Sim Driver, Ronan, Diego Blackshark, Mr. Kriko, No Sebo, T-Rex Cito. I hope I read it right. No assist. And here, Zeno, Iroko, Rokia? Okay, it's Iroko now. Mitsu, Cabarentinless, and Dance. What do you think about this qualifying session?
Well, it was certainly an interesting qualifying session. Pouring rain, a lot of strategies that you could have gone at the beginning, a lot of drivers starting on the soft, slick tire, which is definitely not a good idea for these conditions. Yeah, as I said, I think the grid is very randomized. I think it's not really uh, to say like that according to the pace of what the driver would have had in dry conditions, but I think that is going to be really, really interesting for the main race, as we just see the Alpine of Forest Jump splitting the two kick Saubers at the top, and there's one more lap to be done by Diego, but he can't improve finishes in 10th.
So something actually changed. I'm so sorry for that. Forest Jump goes on to P2 as Andrew goes on to P3. So this is like, I think, some kind of an American sandwich, don't you think, with some French cheese on top? I mean, not even on top, in the middle. Or Swedish sandwich, whatever. You can
It's a
also tell, like, it's a streaming sandwich. That's good thing
it's
to say.
definitely an interesting sandwich. We've got the two
Gambling
kick
sandwich?
Saubers, the gambling Saubers, which are actually not Swedish, they're Swiss from Switzerland. So we've got the Swiss cheese and the McLaren as the English bun
No, you
down
have
the.
those English eggs and what is that? You know, England. What do you have on breakfast in England? There's like beans. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. You have like beans beside, watching from afar. The top 10 is Herharnos, Forest Jump, Andrew, PFM 21, Chris Racing, Certain Penna, and I Can't Rap. So we're gonna figure out later. So I think that's gonna be an exciting race. It's gonna rain, maybe. I hope. It's dry. Unfortunately, there would be so much more action if it would be wet, but like,
So
So
it is the sprint race here at the Chinese Grand Prix.
it's true.
It is in dry conditions, so it will not be similar to qualifying. It will be interesting to see for what kind of setups driver have gone. You can definitely go for a higher wing setup, which would have been beneficial in the rain, or you could have gone for a low wing setup, which will definitely benefit you, especially in dry conditions. Now in the sprint.
Oh, we are here waiting for our drivers. We can see the crowd cheering lively. I can say, oh, someone's actually waving their idol for a second. So, for new viewers, this is Cockpit Real Racing, and I am Lotus, and with me is my new commentator, who is his first time. It's Saiju.
My name is Sergio. First time commentator, as Lotus just said. Heading into
As we
the
go on to
formation
the
lap.
formation race. Her son Hernanos is leading the formation lap proudly. He has this comfort to pick up the pace and have all these drivers behind you. I think it's an excellent feeling to just see all the drivers behind as you're leading the formation lap. Of course, everything might change during the race, but this feeling, I think, is one of the best feelings in the world.
It is definitely a good feeling to start on pole position, especially at a track like China, where turn 1 and 2 And especially turn 3 and 4 on that very difficult traction time will be really difficult. But let's go again over the entire grid. We've got Hen Nanos in the kick Sauber starting in pole position. His challenge into turn 1, into the tight, fast flowing turn 1 will be Forest Jump. Just behind them, Andrew 30, which will hope to be able to take advantage of those sweeping corners, maybe get a position or two on the start, maybe on his teammate. In fourth place, we've got the first McLaren of PFM21 and our championship leader, which hasn't had the best of qualifying performances, but he can still be happy with the P5 on the grid. Going down in sixth position, we've got Selton Penna, a Haas driver of Petrocam in seventh position, Diego Sim driver, our first Williams on the grid, in eighth position. Our second Alpine driver, Ronin 1978, Red Bull in with Diego Blackshark starting in P10. Then we've got Mr. Crico, the No Seb, TRT Rexito to make a P12 and P13 for the RB team. Our last Haas driver, No Assist from Italy, as he likes to present that in his name. The other Ferrari driver in NRT Zeno, the Williams of Airocchio in P16, in P17, Mixu, and the final two positions on the grid, we've got the Aston Martin of Captain Teamless and the Mercedes of Dance99. As we have seen, Ronin, the Alpine, having been disqualified, same as Captain Teamless, so they will start on cold tires. Right. As we wait for the lines here at the Chinese Grand Prix Shanghai International Circuit, it is 4, it is 5 lights, and away we go. Hernanos did get a good start, Forest Jump just behind, and PF, the McLaren of PF on the inside of a kick Sauber, does he get a position side by side with the kick Sauber, very close to making contact, but the traction seems difficult on the outside line as he's now going to get challenged by the Ferrari of Certain Penna. Down the line we've got the Aston Martin fighting for P17, a couple of position changing as we see a Haas trying to go down the inside, and we've got contact with the Williams. Further down behind, a bit of chaos, drivers going off the road side by side, very difficult corners, especially with the dirty air. The Aston Martin of Mr. Crico missing a front wing actually.
As we see, something did change. Ferrari locking up with wheels. Certain Penna doesn't do well actually. But what is happening right now, different drivers taking different ways of taking their corners, and that is true, that is a good thing because the line is not optimal. Oh, what is going on here? Mr. Crico cuts the corner and makes it really difficult for the drivers. I think this will be a really unsafe rejoin. We could see the other drivers just going through as he joined. McLaren's locking up these wheels. Williams going in, trying to dive bomb or fake dive bomb the Haas, but that didn't work. The Haas proudly isn't defeated in that one. Hernanos, fastest lap of the race, 1:37.8 for Kick Sauber. Hernanos still on the lead for his jump, still second, and Andrew still third. I think there will be the fight for the first position in maybe a lap or two.
There might definitely be a fight for the first position, especially as we've got DRS now on lap 2 of the race. Everybody seems to be in a DRS except for Andrew in P3, who has just lost that touch with the fight at the beginning of the race, going side by side. The stewards will definitely have a couple of incidents to review, especially with Mr. Crico. We haven't exactly seen what happened there as he pits right now for a new front wing. Let's see what's going to happen in the DRS zone. Everybody is on the medium tires, except for Andrew and PF, who has decided to go a bit more conservative at the beginning for the wish to have a tire advantage at the end. And oh, we can see a big crash happening between Captain Tealers and Dance99.
That definitely took out Captain Teamless, unfortunately, but will Dance take on the race? He's not that close to pit lane, so I think he has much damage, especially on his front wing, because we see that happening.
Are we going to see a dive bomb from the Williams of Diego? No, he was definitely thinking about it. We also saw the Alpine of Foresham getting really close to Hernanos. A lot of drivers thinking about move, thinking about sending it, but it's rather difficult in that chicane. Let's see if Anetizino will be able to make a side-by-side into turn 1, round the outside, and he has done it.
I think P15 isn't the best place to be on, but we're going to the second Ferrari, who's having some troubles. We can see little shimmers, a little bit of sliding there as he locks his tires. P6 running down to McLaren's of Chris Racing and PFM 21. It's kind of a big gap, 0.5 seconds, but he's going for it. He's trying to send it through. PFM 21, ooh, got a little bit of slides, locking up his tires. You really gotta be sure that your tires survive this race. Of course, it's only a sprint race, but let's be honest, they need to make it through. PFM 21 goes for Andrew, and Andrew, I know he can do some defeating. He can do some good moves. So Forrest Jump goes on to P1 as he overtakes Hernanos. PFM going after Andrew, but he locks his tires real bad, but fortunately makes the corner.
Both of the kick Saubers under huge pressure from drivers behind, both losing one position as Chris Racing got really close on getting Andrew as well. It is definitely an exciting battle for the championship, as we have got a little bit of lag, but it shouldn't really be that big of an issue. Andrew thinking about the inside, maybe forcing an error from the McLaren ahead, the switchback not really working really hard on the traction. There is one more opportunity to send it down the inside into turn 6, however, he seems a little bit far away. The question now is, will the Hernanos be able to keep it within the arrest range of Forest Jump?
That is really a question. Now. He's not. Forrest
No,
Jump
he's
is
out.
running away.
He's already out.
He's already out.
Andrew struggling as well, although a lot much closer to the McLaren in front. But what is going on with the performance of the Kick Saubers? Have they gone maybe for a higher wing setup, which was more suited to the rain, losing a bunch of speed on the straight line speed? They've got the flashing lights. They've either recharging the battery or, trying to save a little bit of battery or already use it all.
I don't know what's happening with them, but it's not working. What they're doing is real bad for their performance. As Hernanos started first, now second. Andrew started third, now it's fourth. That is real bad, but DRS train is working for one of the Red Bulls. Diego Blackshark overtakes Diego Sim Driver. How many Diegos do we have in this race? Oh my gosh. He's going on after no assist right now. 0. It's not 0. It's 1.5 seconds. Diego can still make it out. I mean, Diego the Sim Driver. So many Diegos, it's making me confused. 0.2 seconds to pass. Is it right? No. So many Diegos, it's making my mind crazy. Please take it away.
Definitely a lot of Diegos on this grid make it a little bit of confusing for us, the commentators. We see a really close battle as we have cut a yellow flag. I believe that is stance 99. Has he spun it around? He's kept the engine running. He's still going on. There you go, son. No damage as well.
How's
Actually,
it no damage?
Henano has kept it really close to Forest Jump. Will we see a challenge once again for the lead?
There's something's gonna happen as soon the DRS will open for Hernanos. Is he too far away? Can he make it up? He's got a
9/10 of
slipstream.
a second is definitely a bit far away, as yeah, he's definitely losing time on that straight. However, Andrew behind might put a challenge on the McLaren, but the McLaren behind Andrew might put a challenge on him, as we've got drivers that are really close, running the Alpine in P8 fighting with P7 trying to go down the inside. Was there maybe a little bit of contact between the drivers? I don't think so. They've kept it together. They're still going strong, but that was an attempt at an overtake. As oh, we can see a couple drivers going off the road. We probably definitely going to see a couple of track limit penalties around here.
I think the speed trap is making them go crazy. The lockups are going hard on the drivers. They're using their tires, so maybe going for a hard compound was the better idea when you see these lockups. Well, mediums can have a little trouble surviving those, and these flat spots would be crazy. As we go with no assist, and there goes Sim Driver as he's trying to maybe send it off soon.
As we
As
can
one
see,
of
the
the drivers,
Williams. Yeah,
yeah, has
he seems
damage.
to have a front end plate missing out there, but still had enough grip to overtake the driver from the Haas team. No assist. It's definitely going to be a close battle between two of them. Obviously, having front wing damage will give you a little bit of benefit on the straight line speed, as we see further down the other Williams try to do a challenge, and the Alpine trying to go around the Haas straight line speed. Is it doing it? It is, but I think it's going to get stuck by the Ferrari of certain Penna, as the Haas driver of Peterkamp sent it down the inside, and I believe that was a little bit of damage as well.
As I said, the speed trap is really making drivers go crazy. You really need to brake earlier, and speeding it up and going for a dive bomb isn't really a good thing. Mr. Krika retired from the session. I think it was better to retire. After the pit stop at the first lap, there was no way he could have make it up and
He was
have a
definitely
great
having a
space.
difficult race out there. There are a lot of close battles around here, a lot of DRS trains, a lot of hard attempts at overtaking under the braking is not really that easy around here at Shanghai. You've got the dirty air, you've got this massive strain on the tires, as we see Noasis and Diego fighting again side by side through turn 6, but Diego still stays ahead.
Diego is still having the damage, so for what he's doing, that is really, really good. We can see the front wing damage, but no assist is actually chasing him like crazy as we have a battle for the lead. For his jump tries defend as much as he can. 3 laps to go, and soon the DRS will open, and Hernanos is really, really close. So will something happen here?
As we see Peter Cam and the Ferrari going at it again into that chicane. Very difficult chicane to keep it side by side with. The leader is still very close to Forest jump. Will he be able to be just close enough if we've got the Ronin, the Alpine against the Ferrari once again into turn 1? That could have been catastrophic, but they kept it clean, they kept it together. Down the inside through turn 3 going to turn 4. Has tried it, but again it's a really difficult corner to keep it. As no assist and Diego earned it again, no assist finally managed to get it through. Diego will really struggle with the front wing damage that he's got.
Well, it's only 2 laps to go, so I think Diego might survive it. Of course, he'll lose some of the positions as it's really hard to raise with wing damage. But I think he can do that. He's not going for that pit stop. He's not risking that front wing repair. So we're going off with our second position. Hernanos in kick. Sauber is going through fast and smooth to the last. It's not the last straight. It's the DRS straight.
It
He's
is
really, really
definitely the
close,
big straight here. Shanghai is really close. The RS open
but
down
it's
the
not enough.
inside. He was trying. He was definitely thinking about the move. At the end of the day, he was just a little bit too far away to have that perfect send down the inside, make the driver on the outside cat and give you a little bit of room. at the end of the day, just a bit too far ahead. Doesn't seem like he's got a straight line speed. No assist, however, he seems like he's got a straight line speed as he locks up into the chicane. And oh, I believe there was a little bit of contact with the Ferrari.
I believe so too, as Diego Sim Driver makes an incredible move trying. I think it was Diego or Iroko who was fake diving bomb. So that was an incredible move from him, obviously making the Haas a little bit stressed. Maybe that's where the lockup came from, as Diego loses the position to no assists, unfortunately.
Down the inside into turn 1, that was a desperate move, but he was able to overtake in a place where you don't really see overtakes as the Williams drivers going at it. Do you think we're gonna see team orders? I don't believe so. They're fighting really hard back there.
I think so too. I think the team order is to fight. That's the only thing they know right now.
Oh,
And
there we go.
the Arica overtakes with no difficulties on the outside. That was an incredible move. We can see how much of the speed Diego loses on the corners and on the straights by having the front wing damage.
As another lap has passed and Hernano still not able to get that perfect slipstream on the straight, 4 tenths behind. Will he be able to make a challenge through these fast sweeping corners? I don't believe so. So we've seen another change of position between the RB of Noseb and Mixu. Oh, as the switchback is going to work. The Red Bull driver down the inside again as there was a little bit of contact. That's going into the steward's room, isn't it?
I think it is, as we're on the last lap of the sprint race. And something's got to move. I think Mixer was trying to gain a position there, but that clearly didn't work for him. As no assist is still trying to gain something, but there's nothing to gain now, as Zeno is in the front of P13.
This is it. This is the last chance for Hernanos to get that P1 position in the sprint race. Is he close enough? That is the question. We saw a little bit of a lockup there. Not sure what happened. I believe that was from the McLaren driver, our championship leader. Hernanos, 5 tenths behind, 6 tenths behind. We see a little bit of weaving from the Alpine driver in P1. Maybe, perhaps a little bit too much weaving. 3 tenths, 2 tenths. Is he thinking about the move around the outside? He locks up, tries around the outside of the chicane. Has he done it? He has done it! Hernanos goes into P1 on the final lap in the penultimate corner, and he crosses the line as our race winner here at China. Forest Jump in second position. Andrew hasn't managed to get a P3 position from the McLaren driver, but what an overtake here on the penultimate corner of the sprint race.
That is an unbelievable move. Obviously, Andrew can be mad at himself. 2 second, almost 3 second gap is huge, but what Hernanos did will make history here in cockpit rail racing. That was unbelievable. That's why you need to keep on pushing, as Max Verstappen said. Maybe it's a bad race. Keep on pushing to the next lap. And that is what Hernanos did, winning the sprint race here in China. That was an unbelievable thing. What he's done will make history.
Wow, that was indeed one of the most amazing moves I've ever seen in my entire life. Haven't watched a lot of racing in F125. I'm definitely aware with the later games. That was an absolutely brilliant tactical move. As we see the top 10 in the sprint race here in China, Hernanos, amazing move into P1. Forajan will be mad with himself, but he still finishes in a strong position. P2, the McLaren PF with a strong move down the inside on lap 1. Andrew finishes P4, our championship leader in P5. Petra Cam, Certain Penna, Ronin, Rexito, Diego in the top 10.
As we go on to short qualifying of the actual race. as we go to the qualifying of the race here in China. First out is Zeno, trying to get things on. The next one is, I believe, it is Kashyap. It is Kashyap. It is a Kashyap. Captain
It does
Seamless,
look,
no Sebo, and Andrew out on their other.
as it does look a very similar condition to sprint qualifying, doesn't it? Do I see a couple bits of rain here and there? So is going out on the soft tire the right decision this time around? Yeah, it does. It is very similar to the sprint qualifying. Will drivers make the right choice of going into the intermediate tire? Or will the ones on slick tire this time around be able to put a lap time in enough time to get the benefit of the grip at the beginning?
I think for now, as it only started raining, there can be good times, but we can see puddles already forming on the asphalt, so that is something to watch out for. Because, well, I don't think the rain started now. I think it started a lot earlier. So going out in slick tires might be trouble, as we see already some puddles here and there on the right. But everyone is on slicks. I think nobody
Everybody,
expected the rain.
yeah, everybody is indeed on the slick tires. Nobody seems to have expected the rain. Maybe the engineers, maybe they believe they can do a lap time on the slick tires, and that might be qualifying over quite soon. As we see the Ferrari driver of Zeno being the first one to start a lap. Let's see if we can maybe go on board with the driver. Just how much grip is there in this type of conditions as he almost goes off the track into turn 1? Definitely a bit slippery out there.
The drivers need to set their laps now if they want to do it on slick tires. And we can see how the drivers are struggling to keep it in the track limits. It is hard, and it's going to be hard. China is not the easiest circuit to race on, so that is quite a challenge. And in the rain, it's getting
It
even
is
more difficult.
definitely not an easy track to drive around, and it is even more difficult to put a lap together in a one-shot qualifying, as we believe we have right here. If the rain starts pouring down and drivers are putting lap times left, right, and center, I believe this is going to be whoever puts it on pole on this first lap, as we see the Haas driver of Petrocam going off the track. Whoever puts it on pole on these first couple of laps is going to be on pole position for the main race.
I believe the set of the drivers might be maybe not the same, but we can expect something as we head in sprint qualifying. As we have a yellow flag here in Sector 3, I think the kickstopper went off track, as we can see a little bit of the grass on his tires. It's the
Our
sprint winner, actually, Hernanos, as Zeno goes onto the fastest lap of the qualifying 1:38.1, which is already beaten by Andrew with time 1:37.3. So a little bit of a gap here, almost a second gap. So we can see there is a time to improve.
There's definitely time to improve, but if the rain keeps pouring down, there might not be enough time with the track at 100% capacity. As we see the McLaren of PF of Chris racing this. I apologize, going off the road, but he has just done a lap time. We have a couple more drivers across the line. The Red Bull of Mixu, bad spring qualifying, but seems a lot better in the main race. Our I apologize, championship leader in P3 and our sprint winner of Henanos in
Oh, what happened
P16
there?
into the pit lane. And what happened there? I think that was a Mercedes driver off the
There
road.
was a Mercedes.
Dance 99 having difficulties once again.
I believe everyone could have some difficulties when driving in the rain on slicks, but now we have a beautiful shot of Diego Blackshark in that beautiful Red Bull. That is something we want to see as a Red Bull fan. I mean, I am a Red Bull fan. I don't know how about Saiju. So this is a very, very nice view for me to watch, and I hope Diego does well. As he is for now, P9. He's going out to Sector 2, and he's not improving at all.
It is not improving, and he has a big slide, and I believe that this is lap time done. I believe the rain is here as we have a couple of drivers on the intermediate tires and Mr. Crico having difficulties at it again, and joining him is his teammate, Captain Tinless, both Aston Martins off the road on the same lap.
I think they're having a drifting competition actually. Have you
Well, they're
seen this drift of Mr. Kriko? That was something to look after, but that's not what you do in F1 racing. That's not what you do. Maybe on a city course I can do it, but not here. You don't want to do something like that. As Andrew is still on P1 and PFM21 is still on P2. 11 minutes to go, still raining, and I believe the drivers are going to change the tires.
Well, I believe they are going on the intermediate a lot. Not so much drifting on those intermediate tires as on the slicks, but yeah, indeed, if we did have a championship for drifting, Aston Martin will definitely be winning this one. As we see Trexito, I believe, sorry for butchering that name, going off the road on the intermediate tires. It's definitely a big change, but I believe looking at the track conditions right now, that is definitely the right tire choice.
I believe so too. Going onto that track when it's raining, it's already paddling. So intermediates are your to go compound. As we can see, some of the drivers going out, maybe trying to set their lap, maybe not. We don't really know. There's three drivers without a lap, and one of them is Hernanos, who won the sprint race. So, what will he do? Will he fight for it? DRS is disabled. He sets the fastest first sector, so he's going for it. And I believe he can make up most probably P2, maybe P3, but this big slide is not something you want to see, and it's not looking great for him. It's
It is
not looking
not
great.
It is not looking great for our sprint winner right here. You know what they say in Formula 1, you can go really quickly from hero to zero, and that is exactly what's happening to Hernanos, unless he can deliver an absolutely amazing final sector. However, without the help of the DRS, that opening gap into the rear wing, to give him that extra straight line speed on this massive main straight, it is going to be really difficult to put it in a good position, as we see our championship leader having a bit of connectivity issues. This is the corner, this is the chicane that he has managed, the hairpin, I apologize, that he has managed to do that amazing overtake for P1 on the final lap of the sprint race. Where is he able to put it into the main race, qualifying for the main race? Only P16.
I believe those things that he did on the track, those little slides, did get a few seconds off his lap, unfortunately. That is not something you want to look out for when you have so high expectations after you just won the sprint race. But remember, it's not over. We have 8 more minutes to go. 8.5 actually, as Mr. Quicker invalidates his lap. So that's not what you want to do. That's not what you want to do. He went on the grass so hard, his entire car is covered in dust and dirt.
We're definitely going to see that Aston Martin at a car wash nearby, but I believe we are looking at top 3 right here. I believe top 3 is untouchable this qualifying session.
Might be, might be. Didn't they set a really great times, but Forest Jump is up for more. He's going out on his outlap. Well, maybe there's gonna be some kind of fight here. Obviously, as the rain pours, there's gonna be less grip, so less time to improve. But maybe he can pull something out of it. We've seen a really good fight between Forest Jump and Hernanos, so maybe that's gonna be not the end of it. Maybe it's gonna go on. The story didn't end here, but the yellow flag is definitely there for Sector 3.
The story doesn't end here as we see the Ferrari. Boy, that was a big drift. Definitely challenging those Aston Martins in the drifting championship that we've got going around here. A lot of struggles. Obviously, no assist in this league race, so if you put your throttle down in these tricky conditions, you are going to have difficulties on traction. Not good for your lap times to see 7 seconds. 7 seconds down on his main lap time, which was obviously done on the soft tires. I believe the only couple of positions we can see a bit of a change in is probably from P16 to P19, which is not great news for sprint race winner Hernanos.
Obviously, Ferrari having the same slide as the cake, that's not something you want to see. So we can expect that's not going to improve their laps, but there might be something happening in their heads actually. Because after you slide, I believe something mentally changes in you. You start noticing things that you haven't seen before. A certain Penna leaves the
He has
qualifying
retired.
session. He just retired.
He has retired. Certain Penna has given up in this qualifying session. He believes the truck will not be improving, and it is definitely not improving as we see our championship leader going on the full wet tire.
I think this is the first time in my whole commentating career when I seen this blue mark of wet tires. We can see if drivers are getting that desperate. The track must be. Ooh, that was. Wow! That was really unsafe what we've seen there done by Chris Racing. But I'm very curious to see how will his lap go on these wet tires. This is my first time seeing them. I'm oh, he's struggling. He's
Oh,
he's really struggling with
getting those points in,
oh.
getting those points in.
I think it's driving drifting around.
How many, how many, how many drifting points can you get in a lap time? Let's see. On board with our championship leader, Chris Racing, in our drifting championship here at the Shanghai International Circuit.
That's amazing. We're having a bit of fun here as he drifts through every
Oh,
corner.
drifting here, drifting there, definitely challenging the Ferrari and those two Aston Martins. He might get it. He might just get it.
He's keeping it on the
Or
track. He's keeping it on the track. That
he's
is
doing it
amazing.
on the track, within track limits too. Those are some amazing drifting skills out there from our championship leader, showing us why he's leading this championship, as he might be leading our drifting championship. Holy moly, is that a clean drift out there?
It's so good. We're having some kind of fun here. And it's really good as we 3 minutes till the end of the qualifying, and he's so happy to do it. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Oh,
and he spins out. He was a little bit too happy, but he goes on. He goes on, and he didn't even invalidate his lap. What is that? Now we can see how dangerous he is. No Sebo retiring from the qualifying.
wow, those are some amazing skills he's got under the wheel there. Doing that in cockpit view as well, might I remind you. Definitely some mad skills. That it is. We have got our drifting champion here in Cockpit Real Racing.
And also no assist, no traction control, no anything.
Well, you
So
definitely don't need traction control for that, do you?
oh yeah, I mean yeah, but like no assist also. So that is really exciting thing to see. And he drifts through another corner, so clean, so good.
He's just flexing
Wow.
his muscles right now on the competition. Is anybody around here brave enough to challenge our champion here? Our
I don't
double
think so.
champion?
Diego
I don't
goes
think
off
so.
on the slick tires, so maybe he is. Why is he on slicks? That's my real
That might be a
question.
good idea. Slick tires, less grip. Why
I
not?
mean,
Let's see.
it could be, but is he as good as Chris
Let's just see
Racing
another
is?
360. A bit of connectivity issues, but no problem with a 360. That's 100 points.
Wow, that is so exciting to see actually. Someone drifting F1 car in the rain, in the wet tires. Something you'll never see anywhere else than cockpit wheel racing.
Well, somebody not trying to go for the drifting champion is his teammate. PFM21 still trying to put a lap time challenging for that pole position. You're not getting it today, unfortunately. Dance99 seems to have retired, not like anybody else. I think he has gone into the barriers, and that's it. What a show!
Oh no.
No matter the case, what a show from Chris Racing.
He wanted to do a final drift and unfortunately didn't do well.
Henanos, our sprint winner, still trying, still pushing, but I think this is it. There's nothing really he can do, unfortunately. 50 seconds to qualifying ends. Maybe there's one more lap time. Maybe if we get those trucks with the leaf blowers, it's China. Maybe we can order some really big fan from Temu that is, wide enough for the entire truck. The Aston Martin, they're losing a front wing. Oh, that's a clean Aston Martin, isn't it? Here's
Oh yeah, it's not clean. It's not as clean.
well, it's definitely a bit to the car wash.
Surely he's gonna be like, oh, let's clean me up. Get the sponges right now. We need to look good before the race.
Well, the Aston Martin crew has definitely done a good job with that as qualifying comes to an end, and that is our qualifying position. Most of the drivers have given up. McLaren, he has tried his best, but there's no improving in these conditions. As Andrew 30 Opt is on pole position with that brilliant first lap, that one shot qualifying lap at the beginning of the session, puts him on pole position. Following him behind is PFM21, our second position in the sprint race, Forest Jump in the Alpine. Our championship leader, and not only our drivers' championship leader, but also our drift championship leader in P4. No Seb in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls P5, Zeno, the first Ferrari in P6, Red Bull of Mixu in P7, Ronin, Diego Pena, the other Diego, Irocchio, Captain Teenless, and No Assist in P14. As the
I
final
was
couple of positions, Petrocam in the other has P15, Henanos, our sprint winner, unfortunately just 16, Trexino, Mr. Crico, and Dance99 in the final position.
I was not right about the qualifying as it seems because it's so much different. It's gonna be an amazing race, I feel. How do you feel about it? It's getting dry again. So but how do you feel about it?
It does look like it is dry again. First things first, we're definitely going to see a lot of positions gain from Hernanos. He has shown that he has got the pace to win around here. He is obviously our sprint winner. He has shown that he has got the racecraft. He has shown that he has got the overtaking abilities, like he has shown on the last lap. He's definitely got a big show to put on right now, and yeah, we've got our championship leader that is definitely going to try and make a couple of positions, maybe a podium for him, maybe even challenging for the win. Andrew, the kick Saubers do not look like they've got a lot of straight line speed, so the fact that it is dry right now, and we've obviously going to have that DRS, that opening of the rear wing, it is going to be a bit interesting, especially in the first couple laps, if we cannot pull over a second in a single lap.
At the end of the race, obviously, there will be interviews, and one guy I specifically want to interview is Chris Sniper. I think everyone knows why. I want to ask him about some tips. For sure. As we
As
go on to the formation lap.
we are now on the formation lap, the kick Sauber of Andrew obviously having the abilities to set the grid up, and my obvious tip will be take it easy, warm up your tires, you know, don't try and go too quickly. If you're going too quickly on the formation lap as the leader, you're gonna have the awkward situation where you get into your grid spot and then have a very long wait until the final car on the grid, which in this case is Dance99, gets on his grid spot. By that time, his tires will be pretty cold, so obviously you have to make sure that grid is punched up.
And Ferrari goes on to disqualifying. What happened there? I am not really sure. And I don't know if I want to be sure, to be honest. Getting disqualified during formation lap seems like Stroll in Brazil. But, I mean, it can happen to anyone. Let's be honest, it can happen to anyone. And here we have possible race strategies. One pit stop is hard to medium, and two pit stop hard, medium, and soft. And we can see some of the drivers actually taking that strategy, which is Captain Tinless, No Assist, and Dance from Mercedes. Only these three drivers went for two stop. So we'll see if the other drivers maybe, because they can change their minds, they can maybe go into two stops after they see what happens during the race. Obviously, the race strategy is possible, but it can change very quickly. It can start pouring rain, dogs and cats pouring, puddles everywhere. So obviously you go for an intermediate, not stick to the plan. As we go onto the end of the formation lap, drivers already setting on the track as Andrew is having a little bit time of waiting there. As we see everyone set up in the grid places, Ferrari getting a little bit far back as Alpine goes a little bit over. Ferrari is actually disqualified, that's why.
The Ferrari will definitely have issues with those hard tires, with those cold, I apologize, it's actually the cold medium tires. You know what I say in Formula 1? Nothing is predictable. As we have 5 red lights that they go away. Here we go at the Chinese Grand Prix. The McLaren of PF1 has an amazing start into turn 1, goes down the inside. The Alpine having a look as well. Side by side between the kick driver and the Alpine driver of Forest Jump. Amazing battles between these two. The traction zone into turn 4 really difficult, as we are going to maybe see perhaps a couple of position changes, as we do see behind into the grid looking down the inside. The Ferrari driver, we do have a contact between a couple of drivers. That's maybe going to be a safety car.
This is going to be a safety car. It should, but there is no safety car. Williams is off the track. Diego Sim driver having no wing. This
As
is
we
a
do
virtual
have a
safety
virtual
car.
safety car. Yeah, we do have a virtual safety car, as Diego is our first retirement of the day.
That is some unfortunate thing to say, but I think he should go into the pit lane and retire, not letting the AI drive away. Virtual retiring is actually a penalty for him. So
It
we'll
is
see
indeed a
how.
penalty.
So we'll see how the judges I'll say that because I am a judge here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We've seen some race SGs again, virtual safety car killing off some. Let's drive off to the leaderboard. PFM21 having DP1 as he starts off of the safety car, virtual safety car. Some positions changing already. Diego Blackshirt going off. Fastest lap to the race is PFM 21 150.4 for the McLaren. Andrew is fighting for it, but there is Prism Racing, our actually drifting champion, going off for the third position. Already some of the drivers spinning. I don't know why is it happening. Maybe because of the wing damage he's got.
There has
Obviously,
been. I
what happened
apologize.
was very, very, very bad for every driver of the race.
I apologize, Lotus, for interrupting that. There has been a couple of position changes between the Red Bull drivers in P8 and P9. Mixo and Diego Blackshark going side by side into turn 6, as Mixo seems to have definitely got that one. For a jump, only 2/10 of a second from Andrew. So that Kick Sauber, once again having difficulties at the start of the race. As same for Diego, both of them almost losing positions. The DRS should be open on this lap. Andrew should have it as well, but Forejamp is only less than 2/10 behind him.
We should see first pit stops at maybe 11th lap. And as we see, Forrest Jump is trying, and he's got that P2, only one to beat it for now. But Forrest Jump is actually trying to get the position back. He's getting beaten by Andrew real bad, and that's very unfortunate as Andrew started P1. He's now currently P3 as Aston Martin goes off the track. That is Mr. Cricker as Forrest Jump gets the fastest lap of the race, 135 point. I don't really know, but he has the fastest lap for
Down the
Alpine.
inside.
Andrew goes for P4.
Down the inside was the McLaren on Andrew, but Andrew has got that one once again on the traction zone. But he goes into turn 6. Will the McLaren be able to take a look down the inside? He's trying around the outside, but I think Andrew has got that one. Will the switcher will be working? Side by side into the sweeping corners, as we've got a brilliant camera looking at the downforce of those cars. Who will be able to stay ahead? The McLaren seems to be ahead, and he is ahead. What a brilliant move from our championship leader, now into P3.
I think he had real good speed during these corners. Andrew is now P4. What is happening to him? Now with Diego Blackshark P9 leading, the DRS train goes into sector 3. There will be a DRS open soon.
As we
what is
see a
happening?
battle for P1 for a jump, is he going to take the lead? Into the hairpin for the jump, with the DRS open, flies by the McLaren, as the McLarens will definitely try and settle this up behind them. Will you maybe see a couple of papaya rules out here, switch back positions, give our championship leader, as I don't think this is real life, not how it works in league racing on F125, but the Alpine needing to take that defensive action in going into turn 1 has felt the aggression, has felt the fumes from the McLaren behind, but he keeps that position ahead. Alpine of Forejam leading once again in this race.
Seeing Chris racing behind you is something scary. Seeing that both McLarens behind you must be real scary as the Halloween goes on, our Halloween race. So I think Forrest Jump might be a little bit spooked as MPF M21 goes on to him soon into the detection zone as Hernanos goes fastest in this first sector of this track. Hernanos goes to no assist and goes into this corner, overtaking on the outside. Brilliant move, letting no assist, no hopes for getting this position back.
Round the outside, into the hairpin, round the outside, in those very weird, very off-camber corners, very difficult to just take the normal racing line, but Hernanos was able to overtake around here. As you might be thinking, we do see a couple of cars going side by side. Actually, are we going to see a 3 wide going to the hairpin? The Williams of Irokyo taking that P10 from the RB driver, and Hernanos is sniffing behind, trying to go around the outside again. Is he going to do it with the switchback? There are a couple of bumps on the outside going into turn 1, losing you a couple of tenths, but I think he will be able to get this as he is. Hernanos already in P11 on lap 5.
Hernanos is going to make some moves. He's going like Max Verstappen in Brazilian Grand Prix in 2024. He's going hard and he's got 23 laps to go. So most probably he can do it. If he goes with the tempo he has now, he's gonna do it. But now to the DRS, we're going with PFM 21 as he has the DRS. He's in the DRS detection zone and can use it right now on forest jump. But will he actually do it? Will it be enough of a gap to take the lead of this race? We're going to see it right now.
As the DRS is open, PFM 21 was leading this race at one point, and he was thinking about the move down the inside, unfortunately way too far behind to do it, and he's feeling that pressure from the drivers behind. Andrew did lose a couple of positions, but he's still in the battle. He's still comfortably there in P4. We do see a couple of drivers trying to go side by side. Was that a little bit of contact between Iroka and Hernanos? I don't think so, as Hernanos goes into the points. He started P16, have gained 6 positions in 6 laps.
That is something amazing to say for Hernanos. As I said, he has 2 laps to go, gaining so many positions, 6 positions as Petracam gains the same. So that's gonna be quite an interesting fight here, but we're going off with PFM 21 or P2 of the race as they're going through the turns. That's gonna be something exciting to see. The DRS zone is the gap is almost the same as it was the last lap. They don't seem to be improving. He's losing on the straight actually. So there's something interesting to see. Maybe he put more of that into the corners. I don't really seem to know.
Andrew has tried to challenge our championship leader in P3. Has Chris Racing got the DRS? He has. He was at one point less than a second behind. As we see the McLaren of PFM 21 going for the lead of this race, locking up. Will we see a switchback maneuver from the Alpine? No, we won't. PFM 21 taking the lead once again here at the Chinese Grand Prix.
I don't think it will be for long as Forest Jump has the DRS open and might make a move actually. He doesn't go for the best track line, but he's doing the turn. As something here changes, no Sebo is 7th and Mixu going for a pit right now. I think it's a little bit early for that. No
That is a bit early.
3-second time penalty, multiple warnings.
Is the Red Bull driver? We know Red Bull has got some amazing strategies, but is this a correct call? He will need to do an absolutely stunning stint on those hard tires if he wants to go to the end, but I don't think he'll be able to. I think that's a two-stop strategy.
I don't really know, but it's yellow flag in the sector 3, which is now cleared up. And Aston Martin having no wing or whatever on his right side. What is going on here? Petracam goes to no Sebo as the DRS will be soon in, 2 corners now? He is in the DRS zone, and if he stays in this gap, he might have the move. But now, 0.2 gap. Forest Jump has to PFM 21. He makes the move and he overtakes to be a leader of this race. Will PFM21 make the move to the corner? He tried, but it's not enough. It's not enough to take the lead, but soon there will be second DRS zone.
Henano tries to go into P8 position, boost the challenge on the Haas driver. Will he be able to do the switchback maneuver again into the hairpin? He went. That's a really difficult place to overtake. Will he be able to? Oh, what was that? The RB. The RB has done a mistake, and what a double maneuver from Henanos. That is two positions into one corner.
That is something amazing. We've seen him so far back. Now he's P7. What is going on? He's going crazy. He wants to show us that he can win it. He didn't do well in qualifying because he didn't have the time to do it, but he's still a good driver. Going straight for that Ferrari. Is he going to make it? Is the switchback gonna work? It's not. It's not going how he wishes it does. But for now he's going. He's trying to chase it up. Will he do it? Will he stay in this gap for the DRS? Let's remember the DRS train can be tricky, but I think he can do it. He's done it so many times before. In this race, he can do it again.
As quick info, Mixu is in the pit lane once again. Is that a tree stopper from the Red Bull? That's definitely an interesting strategy as we see PFM21 putting a challenge once again on the Alpine driver. As the McLaren driver has switched, our championship leader, they're going side by side once again. PFM21 stays ahead of Chris Racing, but was that a mistake or was that a genuine send from Chris Racing into the hairpin?
Are the papaya rules working? I don't know. It seems like it's Oscar and Piastri. What am I saying? Oscar and Lando. As our cameraman said, Max and Verstappen. That is real true. I'm making some mistakes there, but well, it's funny at least. No, is going into the pit lane. Is he going to change his tires? I believe he is. 9 laps for soft tires is enough.
Actually quite good. It's actually quite good around the track like China. Going 9 laps on those tires is actually quite good, but ooh, the rest of the race on the medium tires will definitely be difficult. I think that is a two-stopper from the Haas driver.
I believe so too, as he has no traffic before or after him. Going off to BFM 21, his 0.7 second gap to Forest Champ, as we go to the DRS zone with Capitan Tines, who is getting lapped.
Into the DRS zone with our race leaders once again. And Mr. Kriko, is that a virtual safety car? That is a full safety car. This changes the race entirely. Will Forest Jump come into the pit lane? I don't believe the hard tires will be able to go to the race end. Definitely not comfortable as he is. Forest Jump into the pit lane. PFM21 following him behind. Is Chris Racing doing the same thing? Yes, he is.
Oh, overtaking a pit lane!
That is an overtake into the pit lane.
Oh!
Oh, and that is damage for the Andrew. That
I
is
think Stuart's
damage.
gonna see this.
That is damage for Andrew. And that front wing, as we see the iRocket going straight into the barriers, and the RB driver following down the inside
as
we
drivers
apologize.
actually go into the barrier on the pit entry.
But
what is going on here?
Our director right here keeps making jokes, and we profoundly apologize about that, as we cannot really keep straight faces with him around here. But everybody has gone into the pit lane, as we do see a couple of changes in positions, but I believe that's just pit boxes being around in a weird way. As no assist has got a penalty.
Right, but no assist might also be swearing right now because he just went onto a pit stop, and now it's a safety car. So it costed him quite a lot of time. 3-second penalty, so probably multiple warnings as
Mixu goes
drivers.
again for the
Yeah.
third time this race. Mixu is in the pit lane,
Will he
followed
have
by
the
his third and
tires to
Penna.
do that? I don't think he has enough tires.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough tires, you're right. Was that maybe because of a front wing damage? Was that because... And talking about front wing damage, has Andrew changed his front wing? We have seen he has got a bit of front wing damage in the pit lane. Does that look like front wing damage for him? No, he has fixed it. The kick sauber mechanics have thought about it really quickly. That was indeed a very quick change. He could have easily lost a couple of positions, especially in a very, very crowded pit lane. But he keeps that P4 position with a brand new front wing.
That is true. Doing that pit stop with so many people in there, it's so hard to even concentrate. But now, I think we should go to an Aston Martin, to the last Aston Martin left. Captain Tinless, actually.
Captain Tinless, Mr. Kriko, his teammate, out of the race, spinning into the barriers. That Aston Martin looks very dirty once again, doesn't it? I think it needs
I
another
think
trip to the
so.
car wash.
I think so. Or maybe it needs some rain.
Maybe it needs some rain. That's what I was pointing towards. Some rain will definitely spice it. Oh,
There it goes. I think the commentator's curse got him.
that is definitely some commentator's curse. So
I think our camera director needs to stop laughing because it's making us laugh. Those don't work. Wow, didn't expect that to happen, huh? Your first race and your first commentator's curse. I waited for half a year and you did it in one day. How could you?
well, that Aston Martin definitely needs another trip to the car wash right now. Yeah, that that looks like a special livery for that Aston Martin.
Also, director makes the joke about Stroll's special livery. Could be that. Could be that. I think
Could be.
Captain Tillis went on and said, "No, I need to be different. I don't want to be like Mr. Kraka."
Is this going to be the final lap under the safety car? I don't believe so. So we are going to have another lap under the safety car. That is good news for Forest, isn't it? Just taking the time behind the wheel, you know, relaxing a little bit. One lap less of racing, and we have seen in the sprint race how important a single lap is. So definitely beneficial for Forest. I think the two McLarens behind are a little bit fuming, but they too can take a little bit of relaxing time. You know, you may have a little bit of leg cramp or pain in the, you know, in the arms, muscle pains from all of the stress and pushing the wheel around, or maybe, you know, the controller if you're driving on a controller. So it's definitely really important to take some time off, relax a little bit, both physically and mentally, and then I believe this is the final lap. You go back then to racing.
I think the drivers might actually, watch some Netflix, get a pillow, get some nice blanket, take a good rest because watching at the hour is it's almost midnight and we're not even in the middle of the race, so sleeping is, I think, the most suitable thing right now as the Aston Martin stops in the middle of the track. What is going on?
I think I think he has taken a wrong turn, hasn't he?
Might be.
You
That
know,
is something
during the
weird to
safety
say.
car is definitely a very beneficial time to, you know, relax. As I said, both physically, mentally. You
Sleep,
can put your car in AI mode, you know,
sleep,
go drink something,
sleep, go
eat a
sleep.
burger, go sleep, you know, watch some Netflix. you know, go get your car to the car wash. You can do a lot of stuff
Take
under the
your
safety
kids
car.
out the kindergarten, or adopt a pet. I don't know.
You know, take your dog out for a walk.
Make a meal.
On a track this long and with so many
Take your
safety car laps,
goldfish
you
out
can
of the walk.
take your goldfish just like in the COVID times when you needed that form to, yeah, take a shower, touch grass. There's a lot of stuff to do under the safety car, but
Park
the safety
in the
car
middle of
ain't
the
here no
track.
more, is it? As we see the forest jump of Alpine, well, I must say the Alpine of forest jump, weaving around trying to get those tire temperatures in, and I think it's gone. This is it. Safety car restart. The Alpine of forest jump into P1, the McLaren just behind. Not a bad restart for both of the McLarens, right behind the Alpine. That is not close enough to make a challenge into turn 1, but I do believe the DRS will be enabled on this lap or next lap. I'm not quite certain how it is in the F125 game, as I hear in my headphone that it is going to be next lap. So the both of the McLarens will have a difficult job right now to keep in that DRS train until next lap so they can get that advantage.
I think that your voices in your head are getting real loud today, as you're hearing words. But we are here with Iroka, who goes on and tries to overtake, but it's not happening. No assist, has really good defense. He's building the China wall, as we're here in China, actually, which is kind of themed, as you can see. He's building his Chinese wall to get away from Iroka, as we're with No Sebo and Visa Kasharbi, who is trying to get some defense from Hernanos, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Hernanos is real hungry, as I am, for this eighth position. Actually, he can get that podium, and he knows it. He knows it. As we're in the second half of the race, we're coming in the second half of the race. Some of the lookout from one of the Alpines. No Sebo is trying to be strong, but Hernano's getting him a hard time. First jump 1:35.8 for Alpine, that is the fastest lap of the race. Dance getting a 3-second time penalty as they go side by side. Hernanos and Nosebo, and Hernanos has it. He has the 8th position.
Hernano's really hungry. He knows he has got the pace to win this one. He knows he can challenge for a jump. He knows he can get up there right with his teammate Andrew and right with the McLarens for the battle in the top 4. He knows it. He just needs to clear out these cars, especially the ones he has lost a couple of positions during the safety car. Remember, he was in P7 or P6 if I'm not wrong. He somehow dropped down to P9. So I don't know what happened in the pit lane. The kick Sauber mechanics, not really that efficient, but I believe I know why. Andrew, his team, has had to change his front wing, so I think Enanos unwillingly kind of got stuck by that and lost himself a couple of positions, but he has got the pace. We know him. We know he has got the pace to get back where he was.
I think this race is going on to be a very interesting one. It's only the second round of the 6th season of this league. As we get a big lockup from PFM 21, Hernanos gets another position as Petrakam locks up his wheels. I think Hernanos is gonna have a new position right now, as I believe no assist gets off the track. Is that
That
right?
is
No,
Dance
it's
99.
Dance. It's Dance 99. I think I see little paddles there. Am I right? Is it?
Those are just shadow lights, but indeed they do look like puddles, and we're definitely wishing for a bit of rain. I don't think our championship leader and our drift leader is wishing for a bit of rain. He's definitely enjoying the DRS from his teammate, as he is challenging for that second position, that very important position for his in order to keep his championship lead during this race. I don't think it's gonna be challenge, but you know what they say, every points matter. Every single point matters.
And for sure knows it Hernanos. He is actually in P6 right now. That is something amazing going on. We're lap 15 and he's gained like what, 10 positions now? What is he gonna do next? Obviously, as we go up on the leaderboard, yes, that is 10 positions. As we go up from in the leaderboard, it's gonna be harder and harder to overtake, and Hernanos knows it, so he has no time. He needs to attack now. This McLaren. What am I saying? This
Here we
Alpine
go.
might be the next chance, and he is trying to do that.
No papaya rules here at McLaren Cockpit Racing. No rules for Enano with the Alpine as well. That was indeed an easy pass, and he is now just behind his teammate Enanos from P16 on the grid, from P9 at the safety car restart already into P5.
Hernanos gets the fastest time of the race. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Everyone's, I think the majority has the hard tires, but 5 drivers actually shows medium compound. What is gonna be? How's gonna end? We see Hernanos on medium tires, 6 laps. I think he's going for intro. He has a 0.7 second gap. He can do this. He knows it. But is it gonna be
It's
worth it?
definitely not really optimal for Enanos, however. On mediums that are already 6 laps old, it might be a struggle to get those at the end. It might really be a struggle.
It might be a
18,
struggle. Yeah.
28, we're in lap 16. It will be really close, as we know. You can get a puncture from only like 70-80% on those tires. 6 laps on the mediums, he's definitely already in the 30s. He might even be in the 40%.
I mean, Andrew is a really good driver. Hernanos is too, as we see now. So it's gonna be a great battle, I believe. He is in the DRS 4 now. That is he gonna keep it up? That is a small gap. There's a very small gap. So no errors here, and he might actually get this DRS. And I think he does. I think he has the DRS. We don't see him. We see Diggle Black Shark, but we'll still focus on that top leaderboard. Black Shark has DRS, goes for Tuxedo, but it's not enough time. He needs to stay behind.
All of the drivers that we are currently seeing on our screens right now do need to take the tires easy if they want to go to the end, but that is exactly what Andrew is not doing. Quite the opposite, actually. Trying to go down the inside of PFM 21, locking up his tires. That is not great for the tires, my guy. He's definitely going to be one of the drivers that is going to struggle towards the end, including his teammates Hernanos. And all of these drivers so close in the 30s, so close to the back of the other cars up front, they are destroying the tires. These are the type of drives that you do not want. You do not want to get stuck behind somebody in a race of tires.
That is true. If you want to keep your tires healthy, do not go behind someone. You know, it's like the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So a car away keeps your wheels
In safe? In bay?
safe. I think so.
As we get very medical accuracy from our doctor here on board with us.
I think the doctor might have to glue his mouth shut.
As
As
we have
we're
seen a car
10
off the
laps
boat.
left.
2 McLarens at it again. No papaya rules. Andrew just behind them. What is going on here? What is going on with our championship leader? A lockup once again as PFM 21 goes quite deep as Andrew down the inside. And he has done it. Andrew has managed to regain that P3 position.
That's something amazing to see, but will Hernanos get it? I think BFM is better than Andrew. Andrew has some amazing defense going on. So I think Hernanos will have no troubles to overtake that BFM 21 as we see him in the back there looking like a tiger for his prey. Hernanos actually lost few of the tens last lap, so is he getting tired? Are his tires getting tired? Maybe it's the best time to pit. It's caution on the track. Diego
Caution in
Blackshark,
sector 3.
he
As
left the track.
the Red Bull of Diego definitely struggling. However, it doesn't look like damage. We don't know if he's got any underpole, like underside, you know, underfloor damage. As the RB of No Sep side by side once again with the Ferrari of Zeno into the hairpin. Oh, and that is off the track. He might have to give that position back. Doesn't look like he's willing and wanting to. However, the Ferrari with the straight line speed, with the DRS, flies into turn 1. However, it does go deep and there is a little bit of contact between those two. From turn 2 into turn 3, straight into turn 4, into the hard traction zone. The inside line is however more beneficial, but the RB is not giving that up. Will we potentially see a dive bomb into turn 6? No, we don't. Zeno
Unfortunately,
does keep the P8.
he has the P8, but is he gonna keep it? That's the real question, as No Sebo is only 0.3 seconds away from him. Hernanos is losing some time, he's losing some real time. His gap is getting bigger and bigger, and we don't really want to see that.
It is indeed the same gap as the last lap as Hernanos. I think he's just saving up some tires, maybe trying to benefit of the McLarens and his teammate fighting around. Maybe they're losing a little bit of time between them. Maybe then he will be able to get into the DRS of the McLaren ahead of him. However, as we see, no Sebo finally making that overtake on Zeno. However, Hernanos, I don't think he's got the tires anymore. He's right in there. He's focusing right now on saving those tires, trying to not puncture them up to the end. That is his main goal. I don't think he has any chance at challenging for the lead. As we do see Zeno and No Sebo once again side by side, switching up position left, right, and center again and again and again and again. It slip, switch position side by side once again, just like I said. They are not giving up. They are going outright, all power, side by side into the traction zone, into the braking zone, now into the traction zone. Now Sebo goes a little bit onto the curb, has a worse traction because of it. Is he able to keep it down the inside? No, he's not.
Unfortunately, well, I think in a few laps we'll see it again. Actually, maybe not in a few laps, maybe in a few corners as he's getting closer and closer. It's 8 laps to go, 8 laps of racing. Maybe if nothing happens. So we are going on and on. Andrew is getting closer and closer, and PFM gets his position back. Andrew is on the 4th place. Okay.
BFM 21 does get that position back. Obviously, he was at one point leading this race. I don't know what happened to those McLarens after the safety car restarts. Maybe it's some pace deficit from the McLaren. Maybe Foresham just was able to find his crew, as we do see No Sebo once again going down for the move on Zeno. And I don't think this is a contest anymore. Unless Zeno will be able to take it again into turn 1 with DRS. No Sebo does seem to be saving up some battery around the outside. The Ferrari of Zeno sweeps across, and is he able to close the inside line? Yes, he is. Zeno, once again, they overtake and they switch positions lap after lap, corner after corner. It seems like they just can't figure it out who's faster between them. They just can't figure it out who wants to be leading this one.
You're having a bit of a laugh here. I wonder why. the gap between Zeno and Nosebo is getting bigger and bigger. I can't believe it's not even a second. It, I might be reading that wrong. I'm not really sure, but they're really close. It's almost half a second. So as we can see, they're going on and off and on and off, as we said earlier. Actually, as Saiji said earlier, nothing really going on the track beside that. We have
However, Andrew,
Andrew going off to PFM 21.
Andrew does have the DRS. The McLaren of PFM1 doesn't have it into turn 1. He does keep ahead as no step once again goes down into the hairpin and Zeno takes it back. How many times
That's
we'll be
true.
saying it that this race?
Too many. Yeah, that's the best to call it. And
As the
again,
Aston
Capitan
Martin,
Tinless is off the track, I believe.
has he
He's
taken it
really
to the car
dirty.
wash already? It doesn't look like. He's definitely trying to find a way.
There's 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. We have 2 penalties, and it's 3 seconds for no assist and and dance from Mercedes. So we can see Capitantinas is having some troubles as he's 1 lap away. His gap to dance is 1 minute 11 seconds point 9. So it's quite big, but now we have no Sebo and Zeno who are fighting for their positions again. These guys don't catch a break. These guys don't have a time to sleep, to take their kids out of the kindergarten. They need to race. That's what they're made of. And we can see it now. RB Kashap and Ferrari fighting for these positions, fighting for these points. That's something we want to see.
Is No Sebo going to send it again? Let's go on board with the RB driver of No Sebo. Let's see what is going on with these two drivers. Switching positions again and again and again and again, and once again No Sebo takes the lead of this little bit of battle for P8 for those couple bit of points. However, will Zeno be able to take the position back once again with DRS on the start-finish straight? Hey, that's a no contest. Sweeping ahead into turn 1, Zeno takes a position once again.
I think that's not really what you want to see. Fighting like that is obviously exciting for us commentators, but for the drivers, that's really, really exhausting. So can they hold up a few more laps as it's 5 laps to go, 5 laps of racing, and 5 laps of excitement for us to see if no Sebo or Zeno actually gets the higher position. Certain
Five,
panel losing position P15 right now.
5 laps to go, as we have seen the McLarens be really, really close. A certain Penna has retired from the race. He has gone into the pit lane, and that is his race over. The McLaren of certain Penna not enjoying this one.
That's not a McLaren, that's actually a red Ferrari. The red has a
Well, I
shine.
am column-blind, I forgot to mention that. No, I'm not, I'm just stupid. Has Andrew, talking about the McLaren, has Andrew been able to overtake PFM21? Has PF done a mistake?
Okay, Nanos is closing that gap. That's something we really want to say. Fifth position isn't that for him. He doesn't want fifth position. He doesn't want P4. He wants P3 at the least. And I can see that. There's some yellow flags going on, some caution in sector
Some
1.
yellow flags from the Ferrari. Is the other Ferrari team able to take it once again into turn 1? That was a very clean overtake. Again and again and again, as we see another driver retiring in the pit lane, this time around Dance 99, doing the right thing, going to the pit lane and pressing that retirement button. Well, not great for his race, not great for his championship tally, but that's how you do it if you decide to do it during a race. However, we do see and it is quite a pattern that Alka will be taking back on track and then going into the marshal post. I think that's just how the game works. So don't worry, we do have some yellow flags into Sector 1, but that will not be affecting any of the drivers. Definitely not here in Sector 3 as the McLaren of PFM 21 trying to look down the inside into the hairpin. Is he able to do it? Is he strong enough on the brakes? Yes, he is. Going back once again into P3, but will Andrew be able to do what Zeno in that Ferrari has done to No Sebo once again and again and again into turn 1? I don't think he is.
3 laps of racing left. What is going on here? So many things. Actually, no Sabo looking up his wheels. And actually, is he losing positions a bit? They're going side by side again. No break. Zeno, no Sebo. Zeno, no Sebo. I don't know what to say now. No Sebo keeping the position and he's not keeping the position. What is going on here? Oh! What is going on? Sandwich is making up from 2 RPs and Mixu and Zeno. That's. I don't even know how to say a word to commentate on this situation. They're so close together, they're almost touching. And Zeno is getting the best out of it. He runs away almost a second. So he can now feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe
The
not a
two
lot,
Red
but a
Bulls
little. But
side by side into turn 6. Two Red Bulls behind two RPs going side by side behind a Ferrari. Zeno completely outclassing everybody behind him. That is absolutely, might not be complete outright pace, but that is tactical brilliance, just like Carlos Sainz jumping around with the DRS line, playing with the DRS, being in the right position, knowing your car, knowing your competitors, and he has benefited massively from that. No Seb almost being out of DRS, however, I do believe he has got DRS once again. We do have to mention Andrew has tried to challenge down the inside of PFM 21, was not successful. We do go again for 2 more laps. I
and
don't
he
know.
lost your
Will we,
voice.
Lotus? What do you think we're gonna see out of this? Do you
I
think
don't.
No Sebo will be able to overtake Zeno
I think
at the end
he
of the race?
will. At the end of the race, I don't know that, but I know they're gonna fight till the last corner, until the last lap. There is something really exciting to see, but it's very exhausting for both of the drivers, as I said. But who will have the more strength? Who will have more power, not only physically but also mentally? Because to stay in this fight, you really need to have some mentality over. So I don't really know. Both RBs are very close. Diego's very close, and the Ferrari is very close. So there's a lot of pressure going on, but not only pressure, also you really want to win. You want to get most of the points. T-Rexito wants to have that 1 point, and Diego Blackshark wants to have that 1 point too. So what will happen? I'm not really sure, but I know it's gonna be amazing.
What we are not sure either is if Henanos will be able to close that gap to his teammate, as we do see Diego and Mixo going side by side once again. I do believe that was Diego locking up his brakes, going very deep into that corner. Definitely not great for his tires. As I will say, the medium car drivers are not doing too bad. I don't even need to say anything about this. We'll just let it play. It's BSC. Oh, that was really close from the RB driver. Locked up all 4 of his wheels. As I do believe he will be. And that is contact between Zeno and Oseb. That is contact between the two drivers that I said some amazing patterns in the last couple of laps. They've switched back again and again and again. And that was one too many times as they do make contact into that final corner of the racetrack with 2 laps to go. That is not how we want racing to be. That is not how we want that amazing battle between two amazing drivers to end up.
No, Sebo actually has some damage on his right wing. His right plate is missing and he locks up. We can see it's really hard for him to drive the car, but Only 2 laps. Only 2 laps, no Sebo. Only 2 laps to go. Mr. Zeno actually has, I believe, no damage at all.
As a
But
McLaren,
again, Captain Tinless is in the grass.
has that Aston Martin finally found the car wash? I don't think. Nope, he's just letting some cars by. Nope, as he does have a little bit of front wing damage, as we do see Andrew being really close to PFM 21. Once again, there is a battle for the two podium finishers position. Will he be looking down the inside into turn one? The kick sauber of Andrew goes side by side with PFM 21. That inside line becomes the outside line, becomes the inside line once again. The McLaren side by side. Who will be getting the traction out of turn 4? I do believe the kick sauber has got it. Andrew moves into P3.
Andrew has that podium right now, the last lap of this race. Oh my goodness, he needs to just bring it home. Andrew, bring that one to your brothers and sisters, to your mother and father watching right now. You need to do that, as no Sebon Black Shark exchange position. Maybe not as how they want, but as they should. Diego is 8th. He was 10th or 11th, like not even a lap ago. So that's a big change. Hernanos, I don't know if he's gonna make it to the podium. I don't think so. That's impossible right now. Getting those few positions, it's impossible, unfortunately. But it's still a big change. Up 11 positions, start P16, and it P5. That's some
P3.
amazing racing.
As we do see once again a challenge for the final podium positions between the Kick Sauber and PFM 21. Round the outside, he's trying to do just like Henano has done into the sprint race. Is he successful? Yes, he's done it once again as Henano. Henano is out of the race. Side by side into the final corner for P3 between Andrew and PFM 21. Andrew finishes on the podium ahead of PFM 21, but Hernanos, our sprint race winner, and the driver that has started from P16, is out of the race on the final lap of this race. As Forest
Forest
Jump,
Jump.
obviously, we apologize so hard. We have not forgotten about you, but there was just so much action. Forest Jump, the Alpine, the winner of the Cockpit View Racing Chinese Grand Prix.
He was close to winning the sprint. He was close to winning the sprint qualifying. And he wins the race.
And
Oh
there
my
we go. We got
goodness.
our answer between the battle of No Sebo and Zeno for the P8 position. What an
It's
end
true.
that was! What a move from PFM 21. He tried around the outside just like Hernanos did, and just as we were talking about Hernanos, well, I just saw it in the corner of my eye. I don't know where exactly, but maybe that was a puncture, maybe he touched a curb that he shouldn't have had, got into the barriers. We're gonna have to see what happened there. We're gonna have to ask him in the interviews, obviously, what happened there. But, you know, we can't go ahead and not mention our race winner, the Alpine. What an incredible race from him. As we see him on the podium, definitely a worthy race win. He has switched up positions with PFM 21 all the way until to the safety car that is launched, and after the safety car he was just gone. He has got into the rhythm and nobody has seen him since.
That is really, really true. He went off like a rocket after his safety car. There was some amazing fights right there, not only for the leader, but also for the other drivers. Soon we go on to the interviews. We now see race winner Forrest Jump fastest lap Hernanos, most overtakes Petrocam, and cleanest driver is also Petrocam. Forest Jump P1, Chris Racing P2, Entries P3, PFM 21 P4, Petrocam P5, Ronan P6, Hernanos P7, Diego Blackshark P8, Denosebo P9, Certain Penna P10, Zeno P11, Mixo P12, Irexito P13, No Assist P14, iRockido P15, Cabinet P16, Dance 17, Kiriko 18, Digo Sim Racer B 19. This is the result we have from sprint race and the race combined. So there might be a little changes as you could hear, so that's where it came from. And
And I
I
guess
think we
we
are ready
are,
for interviews.
I think we are ready indeed for interviews as we are going to change channel. We will be right back with you. Stay tuned. Oh god.
And here we have our, I believe, P2. Hello, Chris.
Hello, everyone, guys. Hello.
I think I need to ask you something first. I can't go on without thinking about these drifts you did on the wet tires in the qualifying session. What was your idea behind it, even?
So I wanted to retire the car, but no one retired. So I wanted to show you guys some drifting in the wet. That's my specialty, and
I get you.
just
I
that.
get you. That was amazing, actually. You keeping it on the
Thank
track,
you.
but also crashing the pit lane was a little bit sad. I wanted to ask you about the sprint race. Your sprint qualifying didn't go well, but also your race. You're a championship leader for now. So how do you feel with that? Were you expecting something more, or was that the best that you could have gotten from this race?
I I mean for the sprint, yeah, it was not the ideal outcome. Yeah, because I had a lot of less experience for this track. I didn't have a, a trial. I mean I didn't. I didn't have a lap on this track and before the race because of Halloween because of Halloween, so I didn't train. And for the race, yeah, I got some braking references, and yeah, that went well. I wanted to congratulate with Forest Jump. He was absolutely unplayable. I don't know. He was the fastest on track, and just that. I'm happy with the result, though. The race went well. The sprint, yeah, I I really couldn't keep up with the guys in the sprint. Just
Yeah, we
that.
could see that. Yeah. So, do you have any questions for
Well,
Chris?
Chris, indeed I do. We have seen some very, very exciting battles between you and your teammate. Was there anything going into the race? Some sort of like, papaya rules, don't crash into each other, keep it clean. Let's try to not overtake each other around this corner because it's too risky. Or did you guys just go outright the full-on pace, sending on each other? Because it did look really exciting from our perspective.
Oh yeah, he was. We do not have some particular rules, but when we try to overtake each other in the first part of the race, we usually tell the other, "I'm going to try and, for example, in this case, catch Forest Jump, keep up with him." But I couldn't. And then when there was my teammate behind, he went, I think, a bit wide, and in the one of the last corners, and from there I wanted to help him by giving him the DRS, but then Andrew overtook him, so I ended up helping Andrew, and just that I'm a bit sad about the result between the uh, these two, but I guess that's racing, and I couldn't do anything about it. Now we try to help each other, and if there's nothing we can do, we just go and don't crash against each other, just battling between us. If we can, and there's nothing we can do to improve the race at the end. Just that, nothing more complicated.
So, well, that was indeed exciting as we do here, as there was a little bit of, you know, in-team, well, not really higher rules, but actually helping each other with DRS, and I believe both of you guys were together in a voice shot, if I'm correct, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Um,
Lotus?
Do you want to add something from yourself, Chris?
no, I don't have any question. Actually, I just wanted to congratulate again with first jump. He was absolutely uncatchable. Today he was the best on track, indeed. Nothing to
He
say, really.
was. Yeah. Thank you so much, Chris. Congratulations on your P2 and
Thank you,
have a
guys.
great rest
Congrats.
of your weekend.
Thank you, guys.
As we
And
now
here,
go,
yeah, for P3, Andrew. Hello, Andrew. We know each other for a bit now, and I think you're one of the best drivers here.
I do believe we have a bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, I
Is
think
the
so too.
stream able to hear him?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
Okay, my bad.
Okay, don't worry, Andrew. How was it for you? How was the sprint? Because I've seen you tried, but it didn't work out. But the last lap race, that was amazing. You overtaking all these people. Wow, just the fights between you and BFM 21. Amazing. What do you think of that?
I mean, I just really lacked pace because this is a weak track of mine. So I just tried my best. As the race went on, I started finding the grips, and I managed to overtake him somehow. I knew that if I let him like if I let the pass happen on the last straight, I wouldn't make it because he would have got the RS. So I had to do something quick.
I get you. And what do you think about your qualifying sessions? Because they worked, but not the best for you. Also, the race starts if you can catch us through them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened at the race start. I just got a lot of wheel spin, and my qualifying, yeah, just not the best. As I said, it's a very weak track of mine, so I didn't expect anything. Wow.
I get you.
Well, you didn't really expect anything, but you did get pole position in that very tricky qualifying session for the main race. How did that beginning of qualifying feel? Obviously, it was very similar to the sprint qualifying where the rain has already started when the session has started. Did you, took some lessons from sprint qualifying where you maybe thought about going directly onto the inters, or well, obviously we saw that the soft tires were the better tires in the end, but it really did feel like a one-shot qualifying. Right at the beginning, straight from the sprint race, straight into a one lap and the only lap really of the entire qualifying session.
Yeah, I mean, I just in the sprint quali, I thought it would be dry enough, but it wasn't. So yeah, kind of messed that up. But in quali for the race, I knew I had to do something if I wanted a good quali. So yeah, I just took the risk and went on softs.
Well, a risk well worth, we can say, as you put on a very impressive pole positions. We Romanians definitely proud of that. Two pole positions at China. As
Yes.
we obviously, Lotus, do you want to add something else on?
I would ask Andrew if he wants to add something.
No.
Okay. Thank you so much and congratulations for the P3. That was an amazing work and I hope to see you in the next race.
Thank you.
As we go to our race leader, actually. Forest Jump, are you with us?
He indeed is
Hello.
Forest Jump.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Forest Jump.
Yeah,
Hello.
it's working. Yeah.
How
Good evening.
are you feeling?
Amazing. I love China.
Well,
Yeah,
we
we could
definitely
see that.
saw that. Yeah, that was an absolutely amazing race. Obviously, the first thing we have to ask you, we've seen a lot of changes for the lead in that first half of the race between you and Andrew and PFM1, excuse me, PFM21 with the McLarens. A lot of battles going on. And then we had that safety car in the middle of the race, and after that, you just checked out.
Yeah, I was quite lucky with the safety car was just in the lead, and yeah, safety car came out and I had clean air to go and I used it. And yeah, I think I had also a bit more downforce than the others, so I could just keep the tires for longer and yeah, just keep the lead.
Obviously,
Felt
Yeah,
we
great
could.
overall.
those were indeed some very interesting couple of laps at the beginning, and then checking out. Did you actually because we were discussing this during the race, during the safety car, was that beneficial for you to cool down a little bit? How do you see that from a driver's perspective?
Yeah, absolutely, because I had the control over the race start, and that gives you quite a leverage. And I mean, Pierre, or what's his name? Pierre FM1? Yeah.
PFM 21 in the
Yeah,
McLaren.
I'm sorry, you know what I mean. You know who I mean. Yeah, I just had a good restart, but he also had a good restart. And yeah, it was just beneficial for me, definitely, the safety car.
I need to ask you, were you bored? Because with this gap, I mean, it was, I believe, almost 4 second gap, or even over 4 seconds. I think you could really chill out. And were you like feeling this race is kind of an alone race right now?
No, absolutely not. Okay, at the end, it was quite. When I knew I was going to win, it was boring, but it's never boring when Chris is behind you, as he's an absolute beast. So, yeah, I had to just pull the gap and keep the gap.
Thank
And
you.
that was quite, yeah, quite hard.
Absolutely.
Hi guys.
And
Hello,
as we have
Hernanos. We will
Hernanos
be
here.
getting to you quite soon. Forest Jump, just an absolutely amazing race, amazing pace right there at the end. Do you want to add on to something?
Uh,
No, no. I have a good
Nada.
pace, but very unlucky today. I in
I believe
the
that's
second
a
quality.
hard no. So thank you so much and real good congratulations for the win.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations, Forest Jump. As
Thank you.
we move on to our sprint winner, and what was really close, a P5 finish, an absolutely beast of a finish from P16 on the grid, Hernanos. How do you feel? What? First of all, what happened? Because we didn't catch it. What happened on that final lap?
A flat tire, the rear left on the last straight, and when I go to brake for the corner, I lose the car completely. I go to the wall.
That is very unfortunately. Obviously, you were on the medium tires at the end. You've done quite a lot of laps, and we were talking about the dangers of getting a puncture.
I believe I do 18 laps with the mediums. I think I don't know
That is
exactly,
great.
but a lot of laps.
You did 18 laps, yes. For mediums on China, that is some amazing work. And I wanted to ask how you feel about this sprint race because I know you've won it, but the qualifying for the actual race went actually not in your thoughts.
Oh yeah, the split goes good. I have a good pace like Forest Jump, and I try to stay with him, and I try to wear his tires for attack of the last laps, and I try on the last corner. I do a very good overtakes, and in the quali, unfortunately, in the turn before the straights, there are a bug on the curbs, and when you touch it, the car turn it, and I lost the opportunity to do the only laps with the slick tires, basically.
Yeah, China does indeed have some really buggy curves. You definitely need to avoid them. But what a move on that final lap. Just what was in your head trying to go around the outside of a 180-degree hairpin on the final lap? You were just so late on the brakes and keeping around the outside. That must have felt amazing.
Forest cover the whole track, so I try to do outside the overtakes, and it goes very good overtakes.
Yeah, that was indeed absolutely amazing to watch. Uh, Lotus, do you still want to ask something?
I think no. Do you want to ask? Do you want to add something, Hernandez, for yourself?
I Can you repeat, please?
Can you? I mean, if you want to add something. If not, that's okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Of
you,
course,
guys.
congratulations for your sprint race win, and very unfortunate for actual race.
Thank you.
Well, I think this is our time. I do see a couple of people that we haven't interviewed yet. If you want to add on something really quickly before we end, as I believe.
Yeah, I can say I finished just off the podium to bed, and I guess I got that. So I, let's say, the points were given, so at least that's something. But I believe something else could have been taken from this race. Just that.
Well, as we just heard from our P4 driver in the main race, PFM 21, definitely some absolutely amazing racing with Andrew right there at the end. Unfortunately, we do not have any time. I wish to have talked with you guys a bit more. That it is for our race today. We thank you for coming in, and we will see you next time.
That
Good
is
Lotus?
night.
true. It was Lotus and Saichi.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for your
guys for
work.
coming.
Thank you.
It was also
Bye-bye.
Captain Luca, who was our race director and who actually streamed this race. Thank you so much for being here. I almost forgot you were there.
The one that was
yeah.
definitely with the jokes and made us laugh during the commentary. So we
That is
definitely
true.
we definitely apologize if you heard us laugh in the background. We were trying our best not to, but you
It
know,
was hard.
race director, camera director was having some other plans. Anyway, see you next time.
See ya.
To all the drivers, Japan 100% next week. See you then.
Can't
That
wait.
is true. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up.